Good morning. This is Dr. Mia Lueth. It is 6:42 a.m. New York Eastern Time, USA. It's July 13th, 2025. I'm going to repeat this. This is meant for mature adults over the age of 21. If you are not, please stop watching now. Please read the description before entering chat so that you have a better understanding of the multi-purpose reason for this YouTube channel. A lot of it is going to be used in a documentary. I've been rewatching some of it and pulling some of it out. But just so everybody know, I never edit what goes on YouTube because that way everybody knows I'm not trying to hide anything or remove anything or any of that. I'm not a trickster or any of that kind of stuff. There's some people who may have gotten got, and I understand that. And it's hard to kind of let go, especially when it seems like you're being targeted. It gets hard sometimes. It may not always be the case, but online we do have to keep some things in mind, and I promote uh, education on uh, the safe use of the internet, and it's important because there are some elders really, like forcing them to use the internet sometimes is not really okay. And there are plenty of people don't use the internet. I don't think it's anything that can be forced on human society. Right. So there's different ways to communicate, and some of us sometimes our body language will communicate things. Some people, I did offer to put some more complex thinking into something that's a little more generalized for the basic human public. And so, right, a lot of this is not meant for people who aren't over 21, people who've matured through some things, people who understand things, and people who prefer, to work something out before it gets to fisticuffs, so to speak. Okay, so I did offer to put some things that seem complex to people in more basic, plain English, trying not to use the Scrabble words and other kind of things. Not to say dumb down, it's just that's not what it is. People have these interesting comments to make, and no, I'm not dumbing it down. I'm helping. I prefer to help people who don't have that kind of background, who don't understand certain things. And yes, I mean, I grew up dyslexic too, right? Except mine was more like, I think it's called dyscalculia. But yeah, I'd mix up words, and I didn't even realize, right? And I look at numbers and doing my math when I was younger, and it's, I'm like, how is this not working out? I did it the way the teacher, right? It's because when I copy down a math problem, I accidentally transpose a couple of letters or numbers, and I never realized that until a math teacher at one point told me. Right, and so then I knew kind of what to work on, and it was a bit frustrating. It got, to be difficult at times, and but because I knew, I kind of like gave myself some grace. But I learned from other people, and I learned how to slow down a little bit and stop and think, and then recheck what I was doing before I tried to do a problem. I would make absolutely sure that I copied it down right, and that kind of changed my grades. I got better grades. I had to spend more time than some people probably did on their homework, but I started realizing how to kind of catch it, and so it got easier for me to understand that kind of stuff. And it wasn't until I got to community college that I really start understanding mathematics and higher mathematics. So you know, take breaks if you have that kind of difficulty. Take it easy on yourself. You know, in the U.S., there are parents now who are more aware, and yeah, I mean, some always got called lazy and all this. It's like that's not what it is, right? So but over time, I started finding ways, mnemonic devices. I would slow down and look and be absolutely sure that I was looking at it exactly. But there's some things I could do that's similar to that was just easy. But yeah, dyscalculia, and it would happen sometimes. Uh, yeah, I mean, that's the other thing is understanding how an equation works. I understood if I put x2 instead of 2x, it couldn't be right. Right, right, because that's not how formulaic. So I would catch myself, and it really did take until I was in my early mid 20s to really understand mathematics better. Okay, or maths, depending on where you're watching from. Again, depending on where you're watching from, I am going to pick a uniform time to do these things, but for now, I just do them on the fly because I want to get the proper footage. I want to get certain things that since I've been watching all my previous, which I had to stop. Like, I'm like, I'm tired of looking at myself. I grew tired of it, so I know what some of the footage is, but I also now know because of that what I need in order to try and finish up the documentary that I've been making. So I repeat things, and I also repeat them because some people are new, some people don't care, some people, they don't stay. Um, I know sometimes it says I have 0 views, but when I look back at my stats, which I do occasionally because, I have to go through that too, and look for certain things. But yeah, it says sometimes that I have viewers, and I've been online before and said there's nobody watching, but yet somebody would jump on chat and say I'm watching. So I'm not sure why it says 0 sometimes, and it's not like some people wouldn't just. I'm not going to give up what I'm doing because apparently nobody's watching. Because it might be that 2 years from now there's something I put online that person is going to get drawn to. Okay, it doesn't have to do with linear time so much. All right, it could be someone 5 years from now. Okay, like this stuff is online for, yes, some other people's future use and mine too. So I do not worry about my stats. I do not worry about the fact that it says there's 0 viewers. But it doesn't change what I'm gonna do. And again, some of it is a little more technical. Some of it is, a little more complex. And so I do try to put those things into plain, clear English that's easy to translate into other languages if necessary. Okay, so you know, some of the nerds, they go way into it, and they're like micro specialists and so on and so forth. I'm not, but some of them are, and there are spiritual matters that happen also. We can't forget about those things. It's like I said, I sustained some injuries, which quite a few of them they've healed up, which is good. But I'm taking the time now to heal up a little bit before I continue on with one other thing. But I don't appreciate people using the internet for certain things, and I'm going to be honest about it right out loud. Okay, And the parents sometimes don't uh, know how to put in firewalls, or right, they don't understand how to be an administrator to help their young ones stay out of certain things. So I mean, that is the case. You can't expect them to understand, yes, internet technology to that level sometimes. So you know, but some of the ones like who put who put all the software on a build for a laptop or something that's going to be sold. Okay, uh, can maybe if there's something just industry standard that says this computer is for someone under 18, and so they can set that at a certain level, so you buy it with your build, and then when that person, if they still have that computer, if they turn 18, right, then like the parent can be guided easily to go in administrator, and then you know check off the box that says over 18. Okay, so that it's already in the build. Right, I'm just putting it out there, because if it's an industry standard, then parents will be a little feeling better about, yep, letting their kids have like a laptop they can get onto the internet, because a lot of that is going to be right closed off, and it also it gives them a little more peace of mind, right? And I understand why. I mean, not everybody's uh, that kind of nerd. Not everybody. Parents shouldn't be expected to understand how to put firewalls in. I mean, right? And they weren't trained up for it. It's not. Yeah, I mean, it's not something that should be expected. But the people who make the builds understand better where to put firewalls, how to show parents. Okay, well, click here if you don't want any of these. Click here if you. Right, so they will have choices too. You understand? So that's just an option. It's like you buy it with the build already set administratively for younger people. Is all I'm saying. Is that if that's the case, I'm sure it would be helpful to parents. And then yes, teens who try, right, and if they say but I mean, I don't really have anything against certain people. I just don't appreciate the improper use of the internet. Okay, they don't. And unfortunately, some people don't know any better. So I do promote, and I do tell people, like I am, I do promote education and training that shows everyday average people what to look for in terms of internet security. Right. And elders who get on it are going to need that. And then younger people, right, should there are things they should be aware of. So, internet security education is really important, even if you're out of school, even if right. So I promote that. I'm all for basic everyday people having some way to learn that. Okay, and some probably could put up a learning module for free, actually, because they know how to do it. So some people can put things up for free. Some people can, right? They don't need the money to continue to go. I mean, some people can. I'm not expecting. I know. I mean, I know it's like I don't have that situation right now, but that's probably gonna change. But I do try to keep, putting it out there revisit internet security. If you learned it in school or you learned it at some point, maybe 10 years ago, some things may have changed. So, maybe update a little bit and check to see what you can see, like the lock down at the bottom of your screen when you're trying to purchase something online. HTTPS is a bit more secure. The HTTPS, which at the top, that is your right. It signifies the page you're on. Like mine says video. Now some things may have changed, so you know, help each other out. Okay, and it's good to do that. It's good to try and help each other out. Um, to understand internet, how to use the internet a little more securely. So, you know, um, just something to consider. Uh, I have been sort of veering off. I do appreciate everyone who puts funny animals on YouTube because it helps, you know, keep things a little light. I mean, yeah, sometimes all I have to do is there could be something going on that's, you know, heavy or it's very serious or whatever. And when that happens, yeah, I will go to YouTube and it's just like Crunchy Cat Nuna, okay, and Batzilla. Batzilla's been online for a long time. I don't know why I like bats. Okay, some people don't like bats. I like bats, and yeah, Batzilla, a bat rescue place, and I don't know, they just look so cute, especially when they get squishy banana mouth. Yes, they do. They look like little flying puppies or something. Yeah. Um, and they're furry, and I like them. Yeah. So, and I definitely like banana squishy mouth. When they get banana squishy mouth, that's Batzilla. If you want to look it up, if you like bats, they rescue bats. So I wrote down Batzilla so that if you wanted to do a search, you could find it. Yeah, Tiny Kittens HQ. At one point, I was watching that every day. Yeah, I got invested in that. Yeah, no. For those who were watching it a while ago, at least like 6, 7 years ago or so. Yeah, I watched it during Sparky, right? And yeah, I know because one of them passed away. But on the way there, the mother had another kitten. Still had another kitten. Yeah, so another kitten was born, but that one passed away. It happens. Sometimes they don't latch. Sometimes, right, there are other things that don't work out. And but it was Sparky passed away, but the mother had one, gave birth to another one. So and that one did okay. Um, yeah, and then just random, let's look at internet cats and other. It's a nice, it's a nice like way to kind of like take a deep breath and laugh at something and just like, yes, silly cats. I think one of the more famous cats online these days is a little tiny black kitten that says hello. People know what I mean. Hello. Hello. With a little black paw. Hello. Yeah. I'm sure people know if you've watched any of that. Yes, that's in a lot of the cat compilation. So greatly appreciate people who share those things because some of them are pretty funny and they're cute and every other kind of thing. And like crazy ginger cats. And yeah, this is what it's like, black cats. And I'm like, geez. And then sometimes dogs. Like, yes. And dogs and cats together, that kind of thing. So, um, that's kind of fun. I saw one the other day that thought was I thought it was pretty amazing. Someone's I think it was a dog or a cat who went outside and was gone for a while and then it came back in and like came through the doggy or cat door and then like right behind it was a stray cat, and then right behind it was another stray cat, and then right behind it was a little fawn deer. Yeah, and then right behind that was a raccoon. So this person goes to sleep or something and wakes up, and there's extra cats and a fawn and a raccoon running around the house. You I mean, I just imagine being that person waking up to what the hell is all this in my house going on here? Like, right, a fawn and a raccoon, right, and a couple strays. Rolled on through the cat door, so or the dog door. It was probably a dog. I think it was probably a dog because how big the door was. Regardless, it's just imagining being that person. Yeah, waking up and suddenly you got like, like the outdoors came indoors. What? Where? There's a fawn in my bathroom. What is going on here? I mean, that's funny. Actually, also, that might be something you could write a song about, but you probably wouldn't know that that's what it's about. But that might, yeah, be the inspiration. Like you go to sleep and you have nice dreams, and you wake up and like there's all these. How did you get in my house? You're not as quiet as a mouse. All sorts of things. So like little things like that sometimes that I watch can be inspiration for like writing or like speaking or songs, which I'm kind of been over the last year being sort of building up to. Um, my band, our band, the One-Legged Popes, might not make it very far. We have a couple of situations. One might get moved, and the other one has an illness, and that he can be down and out sometimes. Can't do practice. So we're kind of trying to work around all of us because we all have some kind of illness or some sort of physical thing going on that prohibits us from being as consistent as we want, which is that's where I, you know, even get little minor injuries, so to speak, because I like to be reliable and I like to be consistent, and that's just not always the case. Because I can go ways, but then if I push myself too hard, then I'm like I have difficulty for the next 2 days. Like my rest period is much longer now than it used to be, and so uh, there is a little bit of that it does cause me like minor injury because I right. I mean, I was used to being able just to get in my car and drive somewhere, and used to be able to. I mean, I worked for a living, so I would have some money to go do stuff on the things I like. And yeah, it can't be because my health has to come first, and some of it is degenerative. So I was talking about it before. I have to make a decision about what kind of medical intervention I'm willing to accept. So, getting two new hips and two new knees at my age, 53, not something I think I want to do. Okay? That's a lot. And when it comes to medical things, my body is like not, yeah, I mean, I can't handle things like I used to, when I was younger. And that happens to everybody. They start finding out, yeah. So that's kind of normal and natural. Uh, but I am, yes, I am working on what types of medical intervention I will accept. And of course, I now have to put in writing a DNR, do not resuscitate. And I think I've basically made up my mind that I will just continue with pain management, and let some of the things that medical stuff, a new hip on one side, and then a new hip on another side, and then a new knee, and then another new knee. I mean, that's a lot. It's a lot of surgery. It's a lot of recovery. I'm only 53. You know, that's another reason why it's just like, look, I can handle the reality, everybody, of the fact that I'm gonna pass away. Okay, like, yeah, I'm not worried about it that way. I'm aware of it, and given that it took so long to get like a really proper diagnosis. Okay, so right now I'm cancer free, totally remission. I just use remission, okay, because there's still a few things I have to check. I have a nodule, but there's still a few things that I have to check, um, like every year. So for now, I just say remission, which is good news. I'm happy about that. But I have to follow up with all kinds of different doctors. I mean, I got like 10 different doctors, and I mean, they don't see the big picture of like, well, I went to this doctor last week, and I go to this doctor this week, and then I go to this doctor. And are you guys talking to each other? Because you should be, right? Like my care team doesn't talk to each other, and that's not a team at all. Right? There's some things about the U.S. like medical system that still need a little work. To be honest with everyone, okay. But yes, I'm glad I can get health insurance. I mean, and I'm glad that I can do certain things, but nobody has a right to push certain things on me in the United States of America. If I don't want to have surgery, if I don't want to be titanium from the waist down, I don't have to be titanium from the waist down. You understand? So I'm gonna have to get it in writing. And I have to get a do not resuscitate in writing. I mean, these are things that you may not want to talk about, but you should, because it makes it much easier for your family and doctors and other people, right, to know what it is that you want for yourself. Okay. So yeah, I get MRIs and we watch, and yeah, I'm basically bone on bone, one hip, and my knees are twisting in, which happens. Um, so you know, I've pretty much made up my mind, and I'm stating it here. I'm going to go as long as I can, and I'm just going to continue with pain management for as long as I can, instead of having multiple surgeries. Right. I mean, I don't want to be titanium from the waist down. And every time you get a surgery, it's not quite the same as you used to be, and there are other things. So, I've had to do some really, I've had to make some difficult decisions that I'm pretty much at that point where, yes, I'm ready to get some in writing. Okay, I definitely want to do not resuscitate. And people may not understand that, but yeah, you all probably have someone in this world, children, spouse, parent, sibling, and I don't, because mine have all passed away. Okay, and it's different for me. Okay, I had to make those difficult decisions, and what I'm saying to younger people is, don't wait. to do that. Like, especially if the second you know you're pregnant, okay, start thinking about that stuff. Okay, you may not want to, but it is part of growing up, part of mature life. I mean, I'm talking about in the United States of America. I mean, I live here. I know more about what it is. Um, but that's my decision. Do not resuscitate, and I don't think I'm gonna go ahead with any uh, replacements. Hip, knee. I'll just keep doing pain management, and you know, try and do what I can every day. So I haven't been cured of anything, to be honest. Uh, but I've made those decisions, so now they gotta be put in writing, which I already have done all this. But all of the people who I had listed as any kind of power of attorney, right, or someone who can do things in case I'm unconscious or whatever. All those people died. Even the backups, the secondary. So, and one of them just stopped talking to me, which is probably a blessing in disguise, right? I didn't. I mean, I tried to be in contact, but they're just. I think they have their own personal situation that just took over, and so I have to do all my paperwork over, which is good to do because it does give people clear written, instructions, medical people, right? I mean, that's what I'm getting at. So it's good to get it in writing. There are some inexpensive ways to do it, but it's important. It's important to do that. I did mine, and then I'm like, well, the people I was gonna leave stuff to, if I had any stuff to leave, are all passing away, and the people who were backups, they're all passing away, and they all passed away except for that one. But I wasn't gonna push it. I tried several times to contact them. I didn't get contact back, but the way I understand it is that person had some serious stuff going on, so I let it go. Probably doesn't need the extra if something happens to me either, so I just let it go. Right? If that person ever wants to contact me, I'm always willing. You understand? You can jump in the chat here, or you can try and email me, or you can DM me, or you can come to my house. I'm not going to put my phone number online. I've done that before. Unfortunately, these days, the married pranksters think they're funny. And unfortunately, some of them are getting caught, and they're not thinking it's funny anymore. Right? And there were a couple of occasions where I warned a few. Right? That's not really. You're going the wrong way with that. Right? I don't see good things coming. Hello. You might want to stop now. So that's that. So I've made up my mind. I'm gonna have it written "Do not resuscitate," and I'm not preparing myself to have a titanium. Half my body titanium. Okay, and they only really last for like 10 years or so anyway. So pain management, basically. Sometimes physical therapy, depending on what the situation is, but I've done a lot of that. I mean, I've shown some of this stuff right online. So you can see like my medical stuff. I put it right online, and I mean, at one point I'm like, I'm so burnt out on physical therapy, I can't even see straight. And yeah, I have sometimes vertigo. There's some things that happen, yeah, and some a bit more of a fall risk, so I have to do things more slowly and more carefully. So I had to slow myself down a little bit. Um, and that's that. Uh, there are some things going on that I'm not sure I completely understand. So I have some questions for some of my doctors that I have to kind of put out there. So I got some labs and go see another doctor, and I'm going to see one particular doctor this next week to new a different pain management that's also a back specialist, and isn't gonna withhold pain management from me, because some unfortunately will do that. Okay, now I will never ever call a person evil. I will never ever call a human being evil. Okay, because there's a lot of crap we don't understand. There's a lot of crap we don't see. There's a lot of crap that only a rare few people could possibly understand. And sometimes they're getting run by somebody. Sometimes they follow orders and then they find out, right, that they've done something that people often immediately, just off the bat, see as evil. But sometimes that is not the case at all. And actually, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, maybe some of you guys should stop if you love the Holy Lord Jesus, only because you don't want to be seen as a false accuser. Okay? I mean, you wouldn't want that happening to you. You guys don't like it. Somebody falsely accuses you of something right? No, not me. You know what I'm saying? Okay. It's the one thing on the internet that I'm just trying to impress upon everybody who loves he who was known as Jesus of Nazareth. Okay, and he has other names. He's been called other things, some of them not very nice, but that's what I'm saying. Okay, reel it back a little before you put your first, like, don't be a false accuser online. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I'm like, if you have trouble wrangling yourself, well, ask the Holy Lord to wrangle you so you're not doing that. Okay, and in the United States of America, you also have to consider this, my own fellow U.S. legal citizens. Every single one of us, you, me, everybody, the president, everybody. Okay? You shouldn't falsely accuse. You shouldn't just determine that someone is evil or determine that someone is guilty before, right, before they, yes. Most people on this planet are not above the law. Okay? And in the United States of America, everyone is considered innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. So I'm asking fellow legal Americans, try and wait a day before you get online and make a post about something. Try and talk to a few elders or a few other people about it. Bounce off each other and, yep, check it through Christ, the Holy Lord. Right. So anything I say, you're more than welcome like, this is what I'm also saying as pastors, and I mean, some of the males aren't going to listen to me because they don't want to be taught by a female, and there's nothing I can do about it. Except for say, well, if there's any free available males and you guys have time and you're looking for something, right? Can you help other males please understand? I will let males be the ones to talk to other males because it's not about me. And yeah, okay, it's about making sure they have the information. And if they're only going to listen to males, then I don't mind if males are the ones to talk to the other males. Okay, this is not a power struggle. And this isn't about me. It's about making sure the proper information gets to the correct people. But that is one of the conditions. And it's okay that I have that. But I am limited right now to only assisting natural born males. I can't change that right now. You understand? It's not me. That is the best way, best practices, according to the Holy Lord. You understand? All right. So I help females indirectly by working with the males. Okay, so I do. It's just indirect right now. Okay, like I'm saying that could change sometime in the future, but not in the near future for me. So don't anyone take it personally. And yeah, I mean, I've been listening to other people and kind of getting their perspectives, and so sometimes I will go quiet, but that's because I'm sort of like more in a learning kind of phase, and I prefer to learn properly and understand properly, and make sure that I don't make the same mistakes that have already been made, all kinds of other things. So it takes a little time, and I am grateful. So anybody's just like, let's just all just go with the assumption, okay? There's only one particular God above all of us. We're just gonna do that, all right? Just that. If we're looking at it that way, no, I need him, and you guys need him, right, to stop me, because there have been an occasion here or there where it's like, okay, fellow Christians, did you have you have you read scripture? Some of you need to like stop and check yourself against scripture. Is all I'm trying to say. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. Right. Check it. You can check Christ, like, the things that I say, and that's what I'm saying is I'm not really trying to call anybody out. That's not really for me to be doing. Uh, but I also know how it feels to have to be indoors a lot because of your health reasons. Or I know some people who might have the ankle bracelet and you're home, uh, confined instead of going to jail or prison. And so they can't, right? And people who don't have a lot of extra support or sometimes just stay in their houses, and so and some people may have what's agoraphobia, right? So all I can say is I understand what it's like when certain things could, could be done, like getting in a car and driving somewhere. It's hard. It's hard to let go of sometimes, especially at a younger age. So I put contact up here for people who, if you don't want to cry alone, if you want a good cry or you're feeling it, and by the way, females, help me out, please. Mature females, okay? Be honest and make sure that the males around you understand that it is okay to go off somewhere and cry, okay? It's okay to ask for help. Okay, the males need to know this, and females too. It's okay to ask for help, but there are females around who agree with me, and unfortunately, males just constantly get hammered into them. Right, but that's not a weakness. What it is a way. It's a cathartic way to take care of that part so they can heal and move on. Okay, don't let them build up until they explode. Okay, so that's what I'm saying to any males, right? The grown women in this world understand. Sometimes a male needs help from an outside source or from, right? Maybe he just needs help from you to give them the time to, you spend a day or two camping and you're like just crying about shit or yelling at the trees, get it out. Okay, the trees can take it, man. You can yell at the trees all you want, right? And yeah, there's some therapists who will, give you like a punching bag or like you can yell at like something, right? Okay, however you do it, there's nothing wrong with a male crying. Any kind of tears. If you gotta get it out, man. Okay? It's always appropriate to ask for help. It always is. There's never been an occasion on earth where it has not been okay to ask for help. Okay? So, I mean, I don't mind if men start crying. If they go off into another room or they go off, somewhere, they try and hold it, where they think nobody can, that's fine. Females will do it too. But I cried online a good bit. I think it was probably around September, October of last year. Yeah, but if you don't want to cry alone and you're feeling lonely, go to September, October 2024 on my site and find the one where I'm wearing heart glasses, these, and I'm eating Taco Hell. Okay? Right. Nibbling on some Taco Hell. Nibbles. Okay? If you see this, September, October. All right? Go there. If you don't want to cry alone, I'm crying with you. You can cry with me online. Okay? If you don't want to cry alone, then you have a buddy. It's September or October of 2024. Okay? I was wearing my heart glasses and I cried the whole post. But it was cathartic. And anybody needs to cry and you don't want to be all sitting there crying alone or you don't want people, then cry with me. So you won't be alone crying. Or if you need help crying. Sometimes watching other people cry, right? Then, yeah, sometimes watching someone else cry will make you cry. So it's okay to do that. Okay? So sometimes I leave stuff up like dance. Like there's a few little things where I'm holding in. I'm like, okay, everybody, maybe you can get out of bed and just do a little tiny bit of moving around and dancing and right. Or if you're seated all the time and you can't, like, yeah, we can. I try to do a little dance stuff. Okay, now that stuff is coming. Again, like I said, I have a much smaller area now, and some of the equipment I had is not there anymore. So I'm just making do for now. And I know things are going to change. I mean, I can feel some things too, and I don't necessarily talk about them much because it's not necessarily meant for me. It's meant for others, but it isn't for me to be telling them that. And yes, some people need privacy. Some people have not given permission to, right? So, I just do it because I know what it's like to have to be in the house and to have, a serious illness and all the things you kind of got to let go of. Like, I had to let go of driving a car. I'm like, son of a mother grabbing duct tape. Bleep, 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 bleep. You can't even read my lips. I won't even let you read my lips. You see what I'm saying? Hey, hockey bench coach, son of a mother. Yap, yap, yap. You know what I'm saying? Okay? It's okay to do that sometimes, right? It is. I think of two. I think the same actor. Okay, Chevy Chase in two different. Um, yeah, what you call them, like National Lampoon's Vacations. So in the first one, they have Aunt Edna. They just took Aunt Edna off the roof and put her outside with an umbrella and a note. That dead woman on the thing, and he gets back in the car and he's saying, blah, 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 and we'll be singing zippity doo dah, so some of us know what that's like. And sometimes it comes out of us and we say things like, oh, okay. But yes, the other one is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which is still, to me, every Christmas, it's like watching it brand new. There's always like a part like I forgot, like, oh yes, snot under the table, the squirrel scene. I still love that movie. I know Aunt Bethany. Oh, say, can you see? Yeah, that's a great movie. Still, I still think. But when he finds out that he got the Jelly of the Month club and he wasn't getting bonus money so he could pay for the pool that he already put a down payment on, and he's in the living room, such a wedding. Yeah, he goes, he has this meltdown. I mean, it's okay to do that sometimes, people. It's okay to express how you're feeling. It's okay to be let down. It's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to understand, like, right, it's okay to have those kind of moments. You just blurting out a bunch of stuff. Okay. I mean, especially trying to leave bad words out of it when you're around children. I've gotten really good at that. I mean, I know enough people have gotten older, and I know, like, I'll say, gosh darn her, I'll just, like, wait until I'm not around children. I'm in the car, mother grabbing. Yeah, okay. It's okay. It's okay to cry. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. It's a natural thing to do. It's cathartic. Don't let it build up in you. Okay? You can't be a good leader if you let it build up in you. Okay? Because it is. There's going to be an explosion, and that's not okay. Yeah, I mean, that just makes everything worse. So that's what I'm saying. Anybody wants to cry. Okay? Look on this channel, uh, late September to October. Somewhere in the September to October. I looked for the link. Yeah, it's just that I wanted to go online before certain other things happened because I have things going on this morning. So, yep, I cried the whole way, right? So if you, want to just sit and watch and cry with me, then you got a buddy to cry with. And then if somebody walks in, you can just say, well, Dr. Lueth was crying. It made me cry. See what I'm saying? Give you an excuse. Especially the fellows. Man pride, gentlemen. It's not that I don't understand where it comes from, but it's kind of been misinterpreted, I think. I think that that's probably what it is. So I'm not putting blame anywhere. I'm just saying along lines probably got misinterpreted. Okay? Yeah, you're you're doing the right thing if you ask for help. Okay? That's not weakness. Some of that crap is just such a big pile of. Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you really need to cry, cry. I understand if you're on the job or you're doing something, but that's the other thing is like you can excuse yourself. You can take a day off. You can take a half day. You can, you know what I'm trying to say? Right. Or you can leave early. Try and do that. But anybody needs somebody to cry with, or you need a way to cry because you cry when other people start crying. Well, when I'm crying in September, October, somewhere around there, 2024, okay? And maybe that'll start you crying. But I did wear my sunglasses so that, right, if you don't need to, I don't want to make people like cry by doing bad things or anything. But yes, you have a cry buddy. If you're stuck at home and you have a serious illness and there's things you can't do anymore, like drive, or you never were able to, whatever. I know what that's like. And it was very just, I'm like, oh my God, I can't go to concerts anymore. Ah. But I am grateful for all of you bands and musical artists out there who do let your fans who go to live shows record them, and some will like record them themselves and then like put a live show online. Because those of us who can't go to live shows, it's kind of somewhat like being there, right? Like it helps me a little bit. It helps me. If you were a live concert goer and for some reason you can't anymore, nowadays some bands are, not as, yeah, they'll even like film it themselves and then put it online, or they let their fans who have, cell phones record live performance and then put it online. They're not shutting it down. Sometimes they have to be shut down, right? I mean, I understand, but there's more and more live performances on YouTube than there used to be, and the bands and their management are okay with that sometimes. And what I'm telling them is like, thank you for being okay with it, because for those of us who love going to live shows, it's hard as shit sitting around the house knowing there's a live show 2 hours away from me that if it were 20 years ago, I could just have gone to. Okay, but instead, I watched, live recorded shows. Sometimes sometimes I did get to see one where I want to say it was Metallica. Okay, I could be wrong, but I want to say it was Metallica. They themselves, the band, the management, they had somebody filming it live, and it went live, so you could watch it live on, real time. Like, what's going on, Metallica friends? What? Yeah, put them in the pit. I know, I've been in the pit. I know, I got older. I'm like, all right, let the youngsters do this. Like, I would never ever try and like mosh pit, but I have moshed before. Yeah. Um. Anyway, yeah, I appreciate that. I'm grateful for that. That people, right, and that bands don't automatically go shutting them down. Okay, because there's some of us we really would like to be there, and we can't, and it sucks. So putting live performances up, I thoroughly appreciate the, musical types who allow it, and the musical fans who do it and put it up online and share it, because, you know it's not exactly the same, but at least I can feel like I'm hanging around with, music lovers. Oh, thank you for putting that online. Like, oh, that song's like even better live. Or, oh, they did this like extra thing and didn't realize they do that at like live shit. Yeah. So I appreciate it. But if you need to cry, okay, you have a friend, a cry buddy. Okay? If you're not sure how to start crying, then just watch me cry for a little while, and then maybe you'll start crying. I need that ended. I want it ended, and I want dudes to understand. I don't care. Even if you run a country, I don't care if you have to look strong for other people. Well, then do it off to the sides. Do it when nobody's looking. Take a day to cry a lot. Okay? Always ask for help. So those of you who are like, oh God, blah, 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 I'm like, yeah, well, hi Duffy. That's a happy love name for Jesus. Hi Jesus. Yeah, I hope too. Yeah. We're trying to protect you the ones. See, like I think about Jesus and I feel like a little kid. Like right, yeah, like okay, well, I'm not a little kid in human terms, but yeah, I'm like, oh, Shafi, Seth. Okay, well, Seth is son of Adam and Eve, and he is the one who would know the most about Egyptian history. Okay, uh, but yeah, I mean, when they're awake, I can tell. I got awakened inappropriately. That I kind of just told Jesus, well, it's just you know, use it in terms of good, and I'll just be owed later, okay? I mean, I got dragged into some things I shouldn't have, and I tried to get out of them. I'm like, I don't belong in this. Like, help me out here, okay? Like, hold up, hold up, and pick it up on stuff that's not meant for me, right? Okay, so yes, it was also Jesus. I'm like, oh, what's the matter? Yeah, it is. It's like that. I feel like that. So when I think about him, and I'm like, yeah, to exactly like the creator of all things. Yeah, I'm still like a little kid. Yeah, so sometimes I'm like and plus I know I spend a lot of time around dudes. Most of my time around males in my life, and so for females, it's like it's not you guys. It's just like I'm so used to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, hang around with you fellas, like, geez, there are times when I have to quite literally like, whoa, put the stop sign up and say, excuse me, but I'm still a female. I need Gertie time. Okay? Jeez. I know. You see, even some of my brothers forget sometimes. I think I'm a male. Because I'm so used to males, okay? Right? Some of them are just shit bags. Okay, that's true. But a lot of them aren't. That's what I'm saying. There's female shitbags and there's male shitbags, and I don't care what country you come from. There's just human shitbags walking around. Okay, to say they're evil, though, I can't really say that because it could be being used by God for crying out loud. When God used the adversary in Job, okay, and all I can say is that in Scripture it says God is love, and those who know love know God. So you may have forgotten. So some of you are probably going to get some good news because you know love. Right. Nobody can put the forgetfulness on me, and I can't be wiped that way. I can't be erased. I can't have any of that happen to me, which is another reason that I'm the one who has to do certain things because some people are not immune to certain things. And when it comes to the terrors, I need people to listen to me carefully, especially Christians. You may not attack them. That is not your job to do. Knock it off. Okay? Some of them are innocent. Some of them had no choice but to be born. So, okay, we don't put generational curses. They will not hold anymore in this world, ever. They will fail every single time. Mark my words. Okay? Okay, you can rely on the Holy Lord and those, if we're going to put names, the angel, look, angel is, yeah, when they're up, okay, they have like Lucifer when they're great, but then Samael, if it's, okay, so some of the stuff is just misperceived, okay? That is basically what most of it is, everyone. Okay, take a sigh of relief. And yeah, well, I'll get attacked sometimes by accident. Like, I know they're like they don't realize. And then once I say, "Oh, sorry," right, and all I care about is, I mean, he's already ascended in that way, and he's where he's supposed to be, and things are progressing the way they should that way. Okay, and I'm just asking my fellow Christians, could you please, just take the time to reread the Bible, the Holy Bible. Some of it you may have been, yeah, it may have, the forgetfulness may, yeah, I mean, maybe certain things, but don't, if you're a Christian, you do not have the right to call any other human being evil. Okay? God knows what evil is. And that's all. I mean, we get protected from things you don't even realize until many years later. Right. So, yeah, I mean, of course I love Jesus. I offered to jump in volunteer style to help end some miscommunications and clear up some old crap that's dead and gone. Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff needed to clean up, and I'm willing to help. But there is this one particular cleanup, and it's not my doing. And if I am to volunteer and jump in to help with that, it's going to cost, right, one hockey club that I get free and clear. If you do not accept that, okay. But if you do, and you want me to help, which is going to save physical lives, physical lives. But my ideal goal there is simply aiming at a better world for all life on it. It may seem like some ridiculous thing, but it's not. Because it's us. Because Jesus is why. And there were a few little spats and wars that started up simply because of miscommunication and misunderstanding. That's it. So, yeah. So I've let people read me and put my palms up. Go ahead. But that now, right, he is putting a stop to that. And many are being disconnected from me. The one thing that I was willing to do, God knows, I was willing to dim myself so that they could see the proper light. Okay. But, okay, just comes toward me slowly because they aren't used to that kind of light. So it's like a rheostat. So I've been working like a rheostat. Okay. Low light at first to get everybody used to it. Okay. And then, yep, raise it up just a little more. And then they get used to that. You understand? Okay. And now I'm getting brighter because they know which of my brothers they should go to. Okay. But the Holy Lord is an unmistakable kind of light, but some can't take it straight on. Okay. They need, this is why it takes a little while. Okay. No, it doesn't take us 40 years, but it doesn't take us, right. They can't get to the instantaneous until I'm trying to get them used to the hopeful light. And some of you go blazing that light on them and you hurt them, and that is not okay. So I did dim myself. So, but they know now, and they're allowed to stay a certain distance away from me, and they're basically just gonna skip me by. This one particular brother, they see that light now, okay, but they can't be right on it or right under it. Slowly but surely, I'm getting brighter so that they can get used to the light. Okay, some were fearful of it because some of you have been using it wrong, blaring at yeah, innocent, and then they get burnt, and then they get tired, and then they die. So if there are Christians guilty, so be it. Okay, end story. I love because I can. I love you guys, whoever sees us, unconditional. There are people who sometimes will confuse love with lust. There's sometimes people that would confuse love with friendship. Okay, when I say love, it's like a platonic thing, like friendly. Uh, I'm far more understanding than some people might think. But if I have to, right? Um, if it comes right down to it, and that's the way he points me, and I start changing, well then, yeah, then some of the guilty parties are going to be handled roughly. So I'm doing everything I can to not have that happen. But please send the word around. Please stop attacking Dr. Lueth. Okay? You may not touch the Cares children. They have nothing to do with this. It's not their fault. Okay? And some of the younger ones, yes, I mean, I can operate in darkness and I can operate in light, and that is not something that everybody can do. And yes, it's a female thing to do, okay, but you need to be from a certain type of family, okay? Right. So just, and those of you doing readings, yeah, I know sometimes you get pulled to do a reading and then you, but those doing readings, just bear in mind that the information you get one day might change the next. And for those of you really feeling it and you're upset and you want to, express yourselves, wait a day, please. You will see things in a more realistic perspective most of the time. Okay? So I do not attack unless I'm attacked. And you can check with God. You can check with the Holy Spirit. I encourage that. Okay? You can check in Scripture. Some of it simply misinterpreted. Okay? But the Holy Spirit can help. Right? Help you understand how Scripture is supposed to be taken and understood. We all have different perceptive systems. So Just be aware of it. Okay? Well, that is why I say over 21 mature, because, you know, this may not be, I mean, teenagers, I'm not really talking to you. You understand? Hey, I mean, they're allowed to have their heads covered and make mistakes and do. Come on now. I mean, come on. When I was a teenager, I did some stuff that might likely have gotten me killed, and it didn't happen. So I'm like, you know, thanks God. You know, I was an idiot for like 10 years back there, way back when. Okay, I admit it. I've been an idiot, wandering around and thinking stupid shit. Okay, it's usually teenagers, but you know what I'm trying to say. And yeah, uh, there are plenty of things that um, I will send out that are basically just meant for a few, and it's nothing. It's not bad news. It isn't. It's just news. It's just like when people use the word overachiever and underachiever. It's like, where's your basis for using those terms under and over? It's just achieving. Doesn't matter how small your step is. Doesn't matter how large your step is. Okay? It's just achieving. That's it. I've been called hypervigilant a lot. But to some, I look, I see, I talk to them, I get perspectives, and I say, well, maybe you're hypo-vigilant and not vigilant enough. Who are you to call me that? I have not seen any kind of war actually solve any kind of problem. I have to be honest. Leave the little terror children alone, you understand? They're covered and protected for every good right reason, right, according to the creator of all things. And if nobody else wants to do it, I will protect them. Okay? But I'm a volunteer. So please do not attack me. Thank you.